Hey guys, intro for assignment 4 and 5. Um, 4 and 5 are both focused on facial expression, not lip sync, just moving your face around. They both should be close-up work, both on face, so you have to find a rig that has some good face stuff. Mary, my rig, and Ray, my rig, are both pretty solid. In my examples, I'm using Ray, so gonna use whatever rig you want. I'm happy if you use Ray because I know how to use it. But you can use whatever you want. Norman, doesn't matter. Um, Assignment 4 is these are the intro to the two assignments as 3 extreme poses and 3 subtle poses. So to show the kind of a contrast for like a smirk and a smile, or like a smile and a big smile, or like a cartoon smile and a real person smile. So it's like subtle or extreme, or like a little bit of worry and a lot of worry. So it's kind of just poses. For the first week is like find a rig you like, mess with the face, make a couple poses. I definitely need to see reference, and then we'll block out an animation, pick 3 expressions, poses, and animate them, and then that's it. 3 weeks of your time will get dumped into all that stuff. Definitely doing both, everything in close up. We don't need to worry about shoulders, fingers. Just neck and head stuff is fine. Sometimes I need to like lean in or something to emphasize a pose on close-ups, but usually you're just like doing head stuff, moving it around. Keep it focused on the face. There's a lot going on the face. You don't need to worry about all those other things. I found this picture to describe what different shots are. We're working on close-ups. This is a cool article I recommend reading. Framing and composition. This is kind of a summary of everything, terminology and storyboarding and shots, and how to set up angles and control the eye and the viewer and all that. It's pretty cool. It's just giving it a read. If you want more information about that stuff, read shot by shot. It goes over like some different blockbuster movies and how they storyboarded their scenes, and how directors thought through scenes ahead of time, and how they worked out like camera angles and what cameras they want to use, and how to communicate through visual medium, telling stories and supporting, using your shots and your compositions to tell your story without even needing animation. So there's some cool stuff going on there. If you get time, definitely read shot by shot. It's it's a full novel, so you don't have to do it for this class. Just keep it in mind. I posted all the muscles of the face. I definitely don't have any of these things memorized, but it's helpful to know how all the muscles are and where they pull, and like the eyebrows kind of squeeze together. It pulls your hair down and your whole back of your head, and to pull your eyebrow up. It's pretty helpful to know that kind of stuff. Like there's like a circular muscle around your mouth and your eyes, and when you do different stuff, it's just that muscle contracting, because we're trying to fake it when we animate stuff. I found this resource, which is kind of like all the facial movements kind of broken out into different individual movements. It's cool to just stare at this and see how stuff works. See how much of this we can mimic in a 3D character. Some information about expressions. This was me, so for assignment 4, gotta find reference, so use yourself. You'll find as an animator, use yourself more often than anything else, because it's easier. You know what you want. Some people prefer to use somebody else. Like if I was animating a female, I would probably use a female if I could. Sometimes I just have to pretend I'm a female, but it's easier if your coworker or somebody you know is like the character you're animating, and then you'd be like, hey, can you act this out for me? It would help me a lot. I do that pretty often, but most of the time I just end up using myself. So I just picked 2 out of this, because we need to do 6 for this assignment. Extreme shock and normal shock, and then I tried to have 2 like contrasting emotions. So it's a very similar emotion. They do both feel quite intense, but there's definitely a change of emotion, and they're both shocking. So yeah, find a rig, pose it out, have fun taking reference. I definitely need to see reference and poses. For assignment 5, it's kind of the same deal. You gotta act out an animation. So we're gonna take it to the next level and kind of tell a story with your animation. And I'm kind of like thinking through as I'm recording reference. I'm just making up different stories. Like I saw this character saw something offensive and then was surprised, and then they're kind of okay with it. Um, I'm laughing, and then I laugh so hard I start coughing because it's so hilarious. Um, so just do a bunch of things and figure out what you like the most. Oh, there's Sally. And it's fun seeing like when you pull faces, like how long do you hold an expression for before you change to a new expression. That kind of stuff you have to get through those videos. Super helpful. The assignment, I just need 3 expressions. I wanted to point out that a base expression is an expression because you have to go from something to something. So going from like a neutral, like I'm interested in something, and then a reaction to it. The neutral is almost as important as the reaction because everything's in contrast, and your eyes seeing movement. Um, I broke down that one animation into all the key poses to be like, you don't have to do the whole thing because that video was 10 seconds, and 10 seconds is a ton of stuff to animate. So I definitely suggest sticking with 3, posting it up there, and I'll give you notes, and we'll make sure that there's a small little tiny animation with a cool expression on it. I'm losing my voice because I've recorded this 3 times because I messed it up twice already. Expressions, block out, and reference. So that's the reference. What else did I do? I posted some tips. I saw this guy's animation, 10 killer tips for better character animation. So he goes through like how he's taking reference of his shots, how he's thinking through shots, what's working, how he reworks shots. Just reading this, I feel like I personally learned a lot from reading it. He goes through his facial expressions and what he thinks through, and how a finished shot is different from a block out. It's a lot of cool stuff going on. I posted some information about blinks. Normally blinks, you'll just kind of drop the upper eyelid down and back up over a couple of frames. But there's a lot going on your eye when you blink, so it's important to keep that in mind. So I posted like a example. Like the first one is just the upper lid blinking, which kind of looks okay. And the next one, I'm lifting the lower lid and bringing the top one down, which looks okay too. One of my animators at work had a problem with it, so we switched our method. So now we're just kind of twisting the lower eyelid a little and bringing the upper eyelid down. But then the last one, I feel like if you have the time, you can move like the eyebrow in a little. I move the cheeks up, and then I'm actually moving the eyes target a smidge during the blink, and it all comes together to help it feel a lot more realistic. So there's a lot going on with just a blink, so that's why it's good to keep this animation short. So I wanted to talk about blinking. That's a good one. Eye cadence is a big part of animation, especially facial animation. Eye cadence is just the eye moving a little bit between frames. So I'm using that third blink style, and then I added a little bit of eye cadence in there. And just doing that, he feels like he's alive already, almost, even though I'm not moving his head, I'm not moving his neck. He's just sitting there thinking. So it's important with animation to realize like you don't have to do much sometimes to make it feel right. Sometimes you have to do a lot, which is why taking reference is going to save your life every time because you see what's going on. Because even let's say I wanted to animate a guy thinking, I would still have like as he's thinking. I still might have some sway. I still might have some eyebrow stuff and some lip stuff. But I'd mostly keep it still. And then when I'm doing eye cadence, I'm really just taking that eye target and just moving it really the distance, maybe like this far, a couple centimeters, and just doing it over one frame so it just snaps over real quick. Really helps a lot. I definitely recommend doing this in your animations. And then turn the assignment in. So that's kind of the base of everything. Let me know if you guys have trouble, need help with anything, get stuck with stuff. Cool. Alright, have fun. See you guys.